Now, how does that?
Awesome.
No, but how does that compare now when you're like, let's say, doing a Broadway show, right? So from the big arenas to Wicked, right?
Yeah,
You're in Wicked. Tell me the similarities and difference there.
Oh, so I think the similarities are, at the end of the day, at least from my perspective, my focus for the most part is you want to be tuned into what's happening on stage, especially in a theatrical piece, right? I mean, they literally aren't really supposed to exist. So
right.
that's one part of it.
Of course, right.
Where it's like, if I'm playing my own music or if I'm supporting another artist, you get the privilege of like taking everybody in. Right. Where if you're in a show playing a character, I shouldn't be like...
Right. You don't want to you come out of character.
Audience.
Hey.
So that's kind of a big thing in terms of...
What do you like better out of those two?
Oh,
There's two different like vibes and feels.
They're so different. Right now, I prefer the music.
Yeah.
Just because I started working in theater when I was 18. I'm 33 now, so I did it a long time.
Sure.
And it's sort of the thing too, where it's like I will always love it. I'll never be done with it, but I got to a point where I felt like I had more to say artistically, and I really love the opportunity of getting into a room of people and taking everybody in.
That's the best.
Really being able to do that, as opposed to like...
I'd agree with you. Well, you're in a show, a theater show, you're performing, you're playing that character.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's not you.
Yeah, that's right.
And then would you like to engage the crowd, like as even entertaining a DJ, and you love to feed off their energy and vibe and just interact and make eye contact.
Yeah, right.
People like that.
Yeah.
Some people get a little weirded out.
And it's an interesting thing too, because it's a really specific skill set that I think a lot of people don't. People who come from theater or from film or TV, it can be easy to think it all will look the same or will all feel the same.
Sure.
But it won't be until you take that musical theater actor into a space in which now it's your job to host in a sense, and people don't know how to bring people along with them.
Right.
Because it's a totally different hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I love them both, just like we were talking about, like your babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do feel like I love them equally.
But there's always one more that gets the upper hand.
Right
A little more love.
The music baby gets a little more of my attention, for sure.
Now you write obviously a ton of music.
I do.
And you're obviously you'll tell me your vibe, but I feel it's got soul, it's got rock, it's got blues.
Yeah.
And you have, besides that, your facial expressions are my favorite, which y'all gonna see these faces. But I know, but when you get into a zone, like when I get into, you can't help it. But as watching it, I'm entertained, not only by the music, by that face. But right, so how would you I like faces, I'm a big fan of the faces. How would you describe like your music? Am I close? Is it a little bit of that?
It's like an ever-changing, ever-evolving thing, right? So you mentioned like my first EP earlier, and I was like,
Yeah.
Because when I first started, when I first did that EP, which is probably almost a decade ago now, which is
really?
crazy. Yeah, that first one is I think that old, between 8 and 10 years ago. I was playing like ukulele and acoustic guitar. It was a much more sort of like singer-songwriter-y like vibe.
Right.
Like harkened back to like the late 90s, early 2000s singer-songwriter, because that's what I knew and that's what I grew up with. And the truth is, when I was in my last Broadway show, which is the revival of Godspell, in that show, my particular number, they knew I played a bunch of different instruments. So they're like, oh, we'll have you start on like a little soprano ukulele, and then halfway through, you're gonna change to this. It was like a flying V, like electric ukulele.
Right.
And then at the end, I had an electric guitar.
Yeah.
And that was before I played electric. I did not play electric at all. So every night I would get this thing in my hands, and there were 2 guitarists in the band in the house who would be like wailing, and my job was just kind of like chunk along.
Yeah, right. Chunk.
And every night I would just feel like, I'm holding this thing and I'm doing it such a disservice.
Right.
So I told myself, I'm like, all right, when this show ends, I want to buy an electric guitar and just like learn something super basic. So I bought actually this guitar, which we'll talk about later. And
played hot cross buns?
Yes. No, I did play hot cross once. I bought it, and then I pulled it out of the box, I plugged it in, and I sort of like played the acoustic-y things that I knew, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this thing. So then it sat on my wall for a year, and then after about a year, I said, okay, I'm gonna learn how to play the 12-bar blues. Like, that's it. Just like, dun, 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 dun. That's all I need. Just see what that is. And so I kind of learned. I watched some YouTube video.
Yeah, of course.
How to play the 12-bar blues.
Totally.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
So I got to that point, and I was like, well, let me learn how to play like one little lick.
Yeah.
So I learned to play like da 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 dun 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 dun, you know what I mean? And like slowly but surely, it just kept growing for me, and I fell head over heels.
Yeah.
I mean, like hard for the guitar, for the electric guitar. And this was just 5-6 years ago. I haven't played very long. So like, I just became, really obsessed. And I say all that to say, falling in love with the electric guitar and starting to like really dive in deep, completely informed and reshaped and really focused my music.
Yeah.
But before that point, because I play a lot of instruments, it would be like, you come to a show and they'd be like, here's this kind of like folk song, and here's this kind of like rocky song, and here's like a singer-songwriter song, and here's kind of a blues. Like, it was sort of all over the place.
Right.
Getting an electric guitar in my hands really focused everything. And even when I go to other instruments, it's still focused.
But that's good. No, it does, because like I can play a bunch of different things, right? And I play by ear, and it's great. I can pick it up. But to find one thing that you or anything, whether it's an instrument, it's whatever it is, to just focus on that one thing and just love it and be able to just, that's my spot.
Yeah, totally.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
But wait, can you do that on? Can you do the boom boom on this thing? The 12-bar blues. The first lick. 12-bar blues.
Literally just, the video was like, okay, so you start and you do the bottom string and the next string. This is literally how I learned. You're like, okay, cool. Then you put your ring finger 2 frets up. Okay, that's cool. So then you go chunk, chunk. You're like, okay, cool. Chunk, 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 chunk. You're like, okay, cool. Chunk, 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 chunk. Oh, wait, chunk, 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 chunk. It's literally these YouTube videos. Anybody who wants to learn how to play guitar, you can from YouTube.
You can find so much. It's amazing.
You really can.
I always want to learn it so fast, though. Like, I feel like I get it, and I want to get it so quickly.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you know, like, a compliment I get so often that, like, irks me to no end is when people are like, we'll come to a show, we'll listen to me play something, and they'll go, man, it's so amazing, like, you play guitar like that. Like, I could never do that. Like, I just don't have the time. And it's always this, it's an assumption, at least the way that it reads to me, is sort of like, oh man, you have the time to do this thing that like, I couldn't do that. I don't have the time, I don't have the talent for whatever. And no, I'm not saying that I think everyone is Jimi Hendrix.
Right.
But the honest to God truth is, like, I just told you, I've been playing like 5-ish years. And the reason why I've gotten to the level I've gotten is because I put in the time. It's not rocket science. That video, I watched 1 million times.
Yeah, you know just watch it over and over.
Get to like, it takes
totally,
it takes time. But I started going.
I know exactly what that feels like.
But you can get it. The stuff comes quicker than people think. It's the consistency. It's not even like it's not 2 hours every day.
No.
It's 20 minutes. Maybe 5 times.
But you touched on the word. It's being consistent.
Yeah, right.
Again, with music, with anything. I mean, if you really want to do it, practice 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
15 minutes. Everybody has 15, 20 minutes a day
everyone,
at some point. Bring it in the toilet with you. You got to go in there. Little phone set up. I would do it. I would bring it in there.
And it's, the thing is too is like, there's the technical side and there's the musical side, right? And like the best of the best have both at varying levels. But I really am one of those people that believes it's like everyone can play something, everyone can sing something.
Well,
It's in your heart. I do believe it. I really do. I'm not saying everyone is great at it. Everyone is amazing. Everyone should quit their day jobs and become like.
somebody can play a tambourine. Well, that's
Yes.
hard.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
I think so often people
Discredit themselves, or
yes, and I'm like, and maybe it's from coming from two music teachers who have literally spent their jobs like teaching anybody and everybody how to connect with music.
Yeah.
But truly everyone can.
on
Really.
some
On some level.
level.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's possible.